Hello and welcome to legato singing, that smooth connected tone flow that we love to hear from our favourite singers. Legato is an Italian term which means in a flowing, smooth manner without breaks between notes. Ah. The opposite of legato is staccato, and that's where each note is individually sung and detached from each other. Ah, 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 ah. When we speak, we have lots of stops and starts in our sound. We don't generally have a connected tone flow through the sound unless maybe you're a stage actor. But singers do. So we want to have all of our words connected together rather than separate. And then we would be doing it all on one note and there would be no stops and no gaps at all. And that's that legato flow. So we're going to work on legato flow now. How to get it, what stops us from getting it. Here we go. The top 3 reasons why we don't have legato flow when we would like it are, number 1, a lack of consistent airflow, number 2, over-articulation, and number 3, singing notes and or words instead of phrases of music. So let's go through each of those. With constant airflow, it's not the volume or how much air we're using, it's to make sure that there's just a steady flow all the time as we're singing. If we don't have that, that is going to definitely lead to choppiness, as well as a whole lot of other issues like tuning and lack of resonance. With a stringed instrument like the cello, we hear the sound only while the bow is moving across the strings to vibrate them. As soon as that movement stops and there's no vibration of the strings, the sound stops. We're a wind instrument, much like a clarinet or a saxophone or an oboe. So the airflow via the reed into the instrument has to keep going in order for there to be sound from that instrument. A steady flow of air is needed to keep going all the time that we're singing so that we are vibrating our vocal folds and producing sound. Some of the best exercises to help singers with their airflow and their optimal vibration of their vocal folds are semi-occluded vocal tract exercises. There's going to be a whole bunch of those coming up, and I'll explain why they're so handy for singers. Another reason that choppiness can occur is over-articulation. Our articulators are really important. They're our tongue, our lips, our teeth, and our jaw. Our word sounds are all made with our articulators. If we put too much emphasis on articulation, it's going to chop up the flow of the sound. Word sounds are made up of vowels and consonants. Vowels are what carry the tone and the emotion. So we really want to have that going as the primary thing. Consonants are really important too. They carry the meaning and the clarity of what we're singing about or what we're saying. There are some consonants that also carry tone, and that's really great to help us sing legato. Consonants such as M, N, and NG all carry tone. Most of the consonants, though, don't carry any tone. So think of K and T and S and P. They're just there to help us to understand the words, but they can easily chop up our tone flow, especially the consonants we call plosives. They're the ones that actually have to stop the flow of air and then burst it open in order for us to produce them, like D, P, K, and T. If we put too much emphasis on those consonants at the beginnings of words, we can really chop up our flow instead of it being nice and smooth. Ba-da, 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 ba. Ba-da, 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 ba. Be-dee, 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 be. Be-dee, 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 be. So in the legato one, I'm lightening up my approach on the B and the D. And I'm just letting my tongue do the D. So if we do a D, da, 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 what we want is our jaw to be relaxed and our tongue is just flicking up to do that D. There's a little space between our molars. Da, 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 without too much jaw movement. Instead of da, 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 that's definitely going to chop up our tone flow. Now with B, ba, 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 we can get kind of pressy on our lips. Use the part of your lips that is just inside of the outside of your lips when you do a B. Ba, 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 rather than ba, 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 ba. But if you decide to go, but if you decide. So rather than put that weight onto those consonants, let them be part of the flow and think about the vowels being the number one priority. But if you decide to go, but if you decide to go, and there's no gaps between the words. Each word is joined up onto the next one so that we have a continuous flow. Think about the tone flow moving across the top of the consonants as you're singing. Think about our singing as being all vowel sounds with some consonants in the mix. Let those consonants just be sprinkled through. They're going to need to be clear. We don't want mushy singing at all, but we can get more legato flow if we primarily let the vowels take center stage. Vowel sounds are open sounds like a, o, e, u, e, o. There's no interference there. So that's going to be carrying our beautiful message of the song, our resonance and emotion. When we see words written on a page, we can see that they're all separated. That's how English is written. But we don't want to sing them like that. We want to sing them so that they're joined together, as if they had no gaps between them. And that's a matter of thinking about that as you're approaching words and noticing that when you're looking at your word sheet or your music.